Hello, Namaste, and welcome to another episode of the Asset of Podcast. जहाँ मैं बात करता हूँ entrepreneurs, artists और professionals से, so that you get ideas to implement and insights of different industries. So today I have with me Rohan Chaubey, India's most followed growth hacker. He has worked with companies like UNESCO, Uber, and Red Bull. He is also the author of Amazon's best-selling book, The Growth Hacking Book. तो आइए बात करते हैं रोहन चौबे से, जानते हैं उनकी जर्नी के बारे में।
Thank you, Raghav. Excited to speak to you.
तो रोहन, ये तो था जो थोड़ा बहुत मेरे को पता था आपके बारे में। आप हमारी ऑडियंस को और मुझको भी थोड़ा और बता सकते हैं कि आप क्या करते हैं?
Sure. I started as a blogger, turned into content marketer, then growth hacker. And let's see how I reinvent myself from here. I've been working with startups and individuals. I help people get their first 100,000, 10,000, and 1 lakh users, customers, or followers, whatever they are in need of. I created my own framework for growth. I have coined the term growth set, which is skill set plus mindset plus tool set. Skill set refers to the skills that growth hackers must have. Tool set refers to the tools and methods and strategies that growth hackers can employ to drive predictable growth. And mindset refers to what mindset growth hackers need to install to navigate the ever changing landscape of this digital world.
तो रोहन, आपने इतना कुछ अचीव कर लिया एंड आई नो कि आप काफ़ी यंग है, बट क्या आप ऑडियंस को बता सकते हैं आप अभी प्रेजेंटली क्या कर रहे हैं? आप कॉलेज में हैं या कॉलेज ख़त्म हो गया है?
Sure. So I grew up online since I was 16. I've been doing stuff online. I've been a freelancer. I have my own agency. I worked as a remote employee for US based companies. I worked as an employee for an Indian company. I worked as a consultant. So I've done everything possible. And currently, I'm also studying in Mumbai University, the last year of engineering.
ग्रेट। तो इसमें आपका, क्योंकि आप काफ़ी यंग एज से 16 से यू हैव स्टार्टेड डूइंग दिस, तो आपका इसमें इंटरेस्ट कैसे आया?
Yeah, like I told you, I grew up on the internet, so I started blogging. So when you start blogging, you automatically, get to learn about social media, SEO, and content writing, designing, and a lot of other digital skills. So back then, I did not realize that all these skills are monetizable and people get paid for this. I was doing this because it was my passion, it was my hobby, and it was not something that I looked as a career. Now people are entering digital marketing thinking that it's a career option. However, back then it was really just a hobby for me. And then a US-based company approached me to hire me as a content marketer and PR manager for them. And that's when I realized that everything that I've learned so far is actually monetizable. So from November 2016, I started working, with startups and companies and people uh, on a monetary basis.
So what was the thing that motivated you to start a blog?
Uh, so I was on a gaming site which had an option to blog, and whatever I would write, it would, go become a top blog. So on that site, there was an option for the readers to upvote and downvote. And for some reason, no matter what I would write, everyone would just upvote and it would become a top blog. So that kind of inspired and motivated me to, keep blogging. And then I realized that there are professional platforms like blogger.com or wordpress.com where I can have my own, personal blog with my own domain. So that's where I moved on from that site.
So now let's talk about growth hacking. So Rohan, what is growth hacking and how is it different from digital marketing?
That's a good question. So for me, growth hacking is conducting marketing experiments or some unconventional marketing experiments and finding a scalable, repeatable process for acquiring and retaining users, customers, or followers using data. So it's not something that I can just define and let you know. I feel it is a very open-ended uh, word. Everyone can have their own definition. This is mine. And I feel growth hacking overlaps. It's a combination of technology, marketing, and product.
Mhm.
And in my book as well, I encourage the readers to define growth hacking for themselves and not literally take my word for it.
So for a layman, growth hacking is key use of data to increase your following or increase your numbers.
Increase your bottom line, basically the sales and
Sales, yeah.
revenues,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if you can come up with something unconventional that is not overexploited.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
let's say, for example, email marketing in 2010 was unconventional. Now it is overexploited.
yes, yes, yes. So Rohan, what are the key skills or the necessary skills that a growth hacker should have or must have?
uh, yeah, so I have coined this term. So a lot of people ask me how to become growth hackers,
Mm-hmm.
and the simplest answer to that is to work on your growth set. uh, the word growth set is something that I've coined and trademarked, and I
Mm-hmm.
define growth set as skill set plus mindset plus tool set. So
Mm-hmm.
now that you're asking of the skill set, so skill set refers to the skills that growth hackers must have to attract and activate and retain users, followers, and customers. So when we talk about skill set, we refer to the skills like copywriting, designing, or as simple as writing, um, uh, let's say putting together a sales funnel, um, playing with the psychology uh, part of really understanding your customers,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it could really be anything that would a growth hacker can leverage to conduct the marketing experiments. Everything is a skill, right from writing to designing, um, to even coding. So there's no it's not necessary that growth hackers should know to code, but it's a nice to have skill. So I think a lot of the skills may overlap between digital marketers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
growth hackers,
Mm.
but uh, growth hackers are considered to be more data driven versus intuition driven.
So for gathering data, you use some kind of tools, or what is the process of?
So when I say data driven, it means that, let's say, if we are running through marketing experiments,
Mm-hmm.
let's say I put together a landing page,
Mm.
and instead of thinking that I should put my subscribe button on the above the fold of the website or at the end of the footer, this decision must be taken based on data. So let's say I do a A/B test, I send traffic to both the landing pages, and then let data decide and guide us which one we should go with. So maybe we will see more subscribers if we put the subscribe box above the fold of the website or the landing page. So when I say data driven, this is what I mean, that to conduct experiments and then draw conclusions based on the data.
तो रोहन, अब आप काफ़ी टाइम से आप बिजनेस कर रहे हो, आपने फ्रीलांसिंग भी करी, आपने स्टार्टअप्स के साथ भी काम किया, आपने बहुत बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज के साथ भी काम किया है. So what is the first approach? What is the approach you take when someone approaches you कि मेरे 10 के फॉलोअर्स कर दो या फिर मेरे सेल्स बढ़ा दो, तो पहली अप्रोच क्या होती है?
Yeah, and so instead of directly jumping into conclusion or suggesting them anything, we start by asking, when did you started, um, what is your company or product, or what
तो
do
सो
you do?
लेट्स टेक एन
Go on,
एग्जांपल
go
कि
on.
मेरे को बढ़ाना है फॉलोअर्स 10 के, तो
Okay.
अब आपकी अप्रोच क्या होगी?
Okay, so followers is actually a very so I mostly work on the sales and revenue part of it, but yes, if you have like good number of followers, maybe they can potentially convert. So let's say growing followers is your north star,
हम्म.
and I'll first start by asking, who you are, what you do, why
हम्म.
should people care about you, when do you
हम्म.
start, are you a freelancer, employee, or agency,
हम्म.
how do you want to brand yourself, what is your monthly revenue, what is your goal that how much what are you going to do with the number of followers? Is it a vanity metric for you, or it is really going to affect your bottom line? And what happens when you get the followers, and how do you want to use them? What is your struggle with growing followers? What all have you tried so far, and what has worked, what has not worked? Have
Mhm.
you already worked with a consultant before, or this is the first time you're working? So we
Mhm.
ask a lot of questions until we
Mhm.
realize that where the person is coming from. So once you have all the background information and everything that they've already tried, you can come with something new that they have not. So that this is the typical approach I have.
तो इसमें मतलब आप कितनी बेसिकली वो प्लान दी कंटेंट की, अब उसे आगे कैसे कंटेंट डालना चाहिए?
More than content, it's the distribution.
ओके, कैसे कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा वो? तो
Right. So posting is very easy. Like
हम्म
putting
हम्म
something out on social media is very easy.
हम्म.
But making sure that it is seen by people is what really moves the needle.
So you use data more. So what according to you data says for the all the different formats, like for all the different platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube? आपके हिसाब से डेटा के हिसाब से इन प्लेटफॉर्म पे क्या काम करता है, या फिर क्या सही रहता
So
है?
what I've seen so far is on LinkedIn, the um, text-based post and image post and videos do well. On Instagram, videos, the carousel post and stories do well. On Twitter, if you put just a neat looking tweet, it is far much better than you using 10 different hashtags and making it look ugly.
Okay.
And putting a text based, writing text on Twitter and also attaching an image to it is likely to stand out in the busy feed on Twitter.
Mhm.
On Facebook, I have found for myself that whenever I put images, it goes well. However, it could be different for different people based on their set of audiences. So yeah, so I think it depends on how the experiments that have worked well for other people, but these are the kind of formats that have worked extremely well for me and my clients.
So you have been uh, producing viral content. You have been SEO consultant and viral content strategist also for 2 months in one of the companies.
For a media company
Yeah.
called Interesting Engineering, they attract about 12 million visitors per month.
या तो क्या वायरल कंटेंट की सचमुच कुछ स्ट्रैटेजी होती है, या फिर?
Not really. So I'll tell you what happens behind the scenes. So I've worked as a viral content strategist for a media publication which has millions of um, followers and traffic. And this is what the only task that I had done for them is they gave me 4 hours per day to
हम्म
come up with 4 different headlines for the articles and do SEO research for them.
हम्म
So this just shows that how much a headline matters, because headlines is something that people would decide whether they want to continue reading or not. And when you also post on social media, they are first going to look at your headline. So I think the secret is in really in the headline and how you gauge their attention before they even continue reading further. And then of course you have to pick things that are trending and then which are very topical and something that is relevant for the set of audience that you're catering to.
तो आई रेड इन योर लिंक्डइन बायो, आपने ट्विटर के फॉर वन ऑफ द ब्रांड्स ट्विटर के 900 से 13 के फॉलोअर्स कर दिए थे 3 मंथ्स में, और इंस्टा के 1566% ग्रोथ थी।
Right.
तो इसमें क्या स्ट्रैटेजीज यूज करी, और क्या अब भी ऑर्गेनिकली ग्रो किया जा सकता है इन प्लेटफॉर्म पे स्ट्रैटेजीज के थ्रू या प्लानिंग के थ्रू?
Of course. So the formula to grow on any social media platform is very simple. It could be seen in simple 4 steps. The first step is to identify the platform.
ओके.
So be it whatever, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Quora, whatever.
हम्म
The second step is to identify the key actions on these platforms. Key actions are action that lead to awareness or discovery. But when I say awareness or discovery, that means so when you perform these key actions, it should send a notification to other users when you perform them. So let's say, for example, on Instagram, if I'm liking your post or following you, it sends you a notification.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm following a particular hashtag on Instagram, it sends notifications to no one. So that is not considered a key action.
Mm-hmm.
Then step three is to, once you have the list of all the key actions, do it yourself. I mean, perform the key actions at scale, or outsource the key actions to someone who can do it for you at scale, or automate it. I do not recommend to automate the interactions, but of course, you can always automate the posting part of it. So let's say if you want to put one piece of content every day,
Mm-hmm.
you can sit one day and schedule all the posts together. So step three is performing key actions at scale, and then step four is to analyze and repeat. What I mean by that is to collect the insights and analyze which key actions are more useful and then double down on those. So let's say, for example, if you had identified two key actions, that is liking on Instagram and following other people who are your target audience,
Mm-hmm.
and you find that following is giving you better results and more followers, so you would continue doing that and maybe discontinue liking because it was giving you less results.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what key actions you're choosing, analyze and see what is working and what is not, and depending on that data, take decisions.
तो रोहन, आपने ब्लॉगिंग काफ़ी अर्ली शुरू कर दी थी, जब आप 16 के ही थे। सो अबाउट आप अभी 23 के हैं, तो लगभग
Right.
आपको 7 साल हो गए स्टार्ट किए हुए। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि ब्लॉगिंग इज स्टिल रेलेवेंट इन 2020?
Of course, I think the text-based content is not going anywhere. The other forms of media could be, the audio, video, and images and everything will come in. Of course, creator may have, greater reach right now. But when it again, the search results are dominantly based on the textual content. Maybe in future we may also have voice searches and everything, but then again, these voice searches are based on what you're saying and what you have written. So I think it is impossible that written content is going to go anywhere, because a lot of people are also let's say it's not just a regular internet user is using the internet. There are people from having all sorts of they could be differently able, and they could only read or prefer one specific type of content. So it will never happen that blogging will altogether become irrelevant. It is definitely going to stay here for long.
यही मेरा अगला क्वेश्चन भी था कि क्या अलग अलग फॉर्मेट, मतलब कैसे अब आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। जैसे वीडियो फॉर्मेट में काफ़ी सर्ज आया, अब सर्ज आया है थोड़े टाइम में, और अब ऑडियो कंटेंट मेरे को लग रहा है शायद आगे बढ़ेगा, क्योंकि काफ़ी लोग उसे पुश कर रहे हैं अब पॉडकास्टिंग को, और टेक्स्ट अब बोल रहे हैं कि कम होता जा रहा है। तो अब आपने ये क्लियर कर ही दिया है कि अभी टेक्स्ट रहेगा ही, और बाकी फॉर द टाइम बीन वाली बात है, बाकी टेम्परेरी है।
Right, because I think just the barrier to entry for video and audio is less, right? So a lot of people can do it, but then I'm not sure if the credibility remains the same. So let's say, for example, someone just putting things on Instagram versus someone really writing an entire book on a particular subject. I would see the person who authored a book has more credible than someone who just blabbers on Instagram. So I think it also depends on how credibly a person has put out some information. Let's say a low quality video and audio and whatever podcasts that people make may not get them anywhere versus someone who has written or taken efforts to really write 1,000 or 3,000 words of content with a lot of research. Again, of course, the audio video could also be a detailed, insightful
Yeah.
piece of content. I'm now not discounting that, but just saying that the barrier to entry is more on writing, and that's why I would always see that as more credible.
तो रोहन, अगर किसी को ग्रोथ हैकर बनना हो, तो व्हाट विल बी योर एडवाइस फॉर हिम?
So there are only 3-4 steps to follow. First is read as much as possible on growth hacking. Read not because you want to do the exact same thing, but to seek inspiration from it. The second is work with people who have been there and done that, people who are actually have been like real growth hackers and grown companies. And third would be to find your own, I mean, always keep experimenting and find your own growth hacks, because if you are going to execute marketing strategies that other people have already done, so there is nothing unconventional about it. So your responsibility is to look for um, the new strategies, the things that are not overexploited.
तो रोहन, अब आपने रीडिंग की बात करी है तो थोड़ी सी आपकी बुक की भी बात कर लेते हैं. सो हाउ डिड द
Sure.
आइडिया ऑफ बुक कम?
So we once had a mastermind in Bangalore and then Delhi, and then I have a very good network of, I mean, a community called Invincible Winners. I know these people for 5 years,
Okay.
and that's what gave encouragement that, maybe we can write a book together, because we have so many good experts with us. And a lot of people suggested that, maybe you shouldn't write a book with your competitors, because essentially you are promoting them. But then my response to that is that not no one really is my competitor, because the world has 7 billion people, and people who must be knowing of digital marketing would be how many? 1 million, 10 million, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a vast majority of the world who is still unaware of all of what we both are doing and everyone is doing in the digital space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone has their own space to grow and do well in the industry. No one is competitor to anyone,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I have all my digital marketing friends in my book. Last year we had 35 people from 9 countries. This time we are going to have 100, more than 100 people from 20 countries, and we are going to make a world record.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just to demonstrate and showcase that we are not afraid by, I mean, we don't operate from a space of fear that
Your confidence.
people are competitors to us. We are driven by collaborations, and that is what the ultimate message of this book is.
ऑल द बेस्ट रोहन फॉर द बुक. सो मेरा भी यही मानना है कि डिजिटल मार्केटिंग वर्ल्ड में सबसे अच्छी बात यही है कि देयर आर नो कंपटीशन, देयर आर कोलैबोरेशन. सो इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ
Right.
विन विन सिचुएशन फॉर एवरीबॉडी. सबसे अच्छी बात मेरे को यही लगती है इसमें डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में. तो रोहन,
Me too.
आप हमने आपके बिजनेस के बारे में, ग्रोथ हैकिंग के बारे में काफ़ी जान लिया. अब थोड़ा आपके बारे में जानते हैं. तो सिंस यू आर अ कॉलेज स्टूडेंट ओनली, तो आपके कोई और हॉबीज हैं जो आप फ्री टाइम में परस्यू करते हो? गेमिंग?
Oh, so I write a lot, I read a lot, and again, in some or the other way, it is again related to the work that we do. But then I feel that my work itself is a hobby, and a hobby turned into career. So it kind of looks like not really a very stressful, but it's all fun.
ये बेस्ट पार्ट लगता होगा ना आपको अपने करियर के बारे में?
Truly. Yes, and the people who just join digital marketing will never get to experience this, because they're joining it to see by seeing the success and money of other people. They are not joining because they truly feel that they are having, a purpose or passion to do this.
हम्म. तो रोहन, हाउ डू यू बैलेंस योर कॉलेज स्टडीज एंड योर वर्क एंड योर फ्रेंड्स?
So, so my school and university is very kind. They have given a lot of freedom to let me do a lot of things. So truly grateful for that. I cannot complain. And about work, all of the clients that we have had are incredibly wonderful. Um, and of course, we do a lot of things for them that they benefit from. So I think nothing gives me more happiness than delivering good work to people and seeing them succeed, and that's what keeps me going.
सो रोहन, व्हाट वाज योर चाइल्डहुड ड्रीम? जब आप छोटे हो गए, यू आर फ्रॉम मुंबई, तो आपको ऐसा कभी नहीं लगा कि क्रिकेटर बनना चाहिए या ऐसा कुछ?
Not really. So I mean, if I share with you my things that I wanted to become, it is very unconventional and people would even laugh on it. So I wanted to become a doctor, uh, and an auto driver because I love auto rickshaws, and farmer.
Great.
Of course, people would laugh if they hear all this, but then this is what I wanted to become, and I still want to. I mean, I may pursue it someday.
Great. तो रोहन, अब एक एंड में हम छोटा सा रैपिड फायर करते हैं. तो पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग या प्रोफेशनल ब्रांड?
I think now the lines are blurring, so of course, personal brand.
एंड वीडियो कंटेंट, ऑडियो और टेक्स्ट?
Everything.
Great.
I
Omni
mean,
channel approach.
I suggest doing everything. Yes.
Great. Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast और YouTube?
Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast, or YouTube. So you want me to arrange from the my most liked channel to the
हाँ,
most?
yes.
Okay, so I would put, okay, one second. Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast, and YouTube. So I'll put Instagram first, YouTube second, LinkedIn third, and then podcast.
And your inspiration?
Um, Really, everyone inspires me. Every single person has a story and a skill set and insights to share. Every single person is an inspiration to me.
Great, Rohan. So with this, we end this episode of the Asset Talk podcast. Thank you, Rohan, for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. I wish you all the best. You're doing very well.
Rohan, for your book. I hope वो भी bestseller
Thank
बने,
you.
वो भी रिकॉर्ड तोड़े काफी.
Hopefully.
काफी अच्छा लगा रोहन आपसे बात करके. आई होप लिसनर्स गेट समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट. मेरे को काफी कुछ सीखने को मिला आपसे. आप इतनी यंग एज में इतना कुछ कर रहे हैं.
Thank you so much.
With this, we end this episode of the Asset Talk podcast. If you want to read Rohan's story, you can visit assettalk.com. और जाने से पहले ये जहाँ पे भी सुन रहे हो, YouTube पे या Spotify पे या जिस भी ऐप पे सुन रहे हो, सब्सक्राइब करो, फॉलो करो और फीडबैक दो हमें कैसा लगा, so that we can improve. So do like, share, comment, subscribe, जो भी रेगुलर प्रोटोकॉल है. It motivates us to bring more entrepreneurs, more artists on the show. So thank you for joining us. I am Raghav Singhal, signing off.